All right, so let's see if the audio is okay. All right, so let's see. Yeah, perfect. How's it going, everyone? I hope you all are doing great. I am Dork Radu, and I am back with another daily analysis. As always, we are going to start off with the Forex analysis. And to be more exact, I will start off with AUD, where we can see that we have a bullish opportunity running as we speak. It is running around entry price, around break even. And the reason I took this setup is very simple. I saw a bullish shift in momentum here. I saw a liquidity sweep followed by a very impulsive break towards the upside. After the break, I was then able to identify imbalance lining up with my point of interest. I also saw that the pullback was a corrective one, hence why I decided to take this setup. And yeah, like I said, currently running around break even, and we shall see how it will decide to unfold. Next up, we have AUD CAD, which once again is a running setup, running in some profits as we speak. Okay, TP1 was smashed on entry number 2, which is good. And yeah, once again, I'm looking forward to see how this one will run. The reason I took this one very quickly is because I saw this impulsive break to the upside, breaking multiple highs as we can see here, which is a great added confluence. The pullback has been a very corrective one, which is exactly what I wanted. And I also had a unmitigated order block lining up with this bullish trader order block, and they were both lining up with the discounted area of this bullish range. And lastly, I also saw that the daily was bullish on the graph, hence why I decided to take this setup. Okay, next up we have Euro USD, where I identified a bearish opportunity. Right here we have a textbook impulsive break of structure to the downside with this bearish leg. Very clear to see that after the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Daily and 4 hour are both bearish on the trader graph, and so far we can say that the pullback is pretty corrective. Okay, so we definitely want to see a continuation of that. Next up, we have CHF JPY with a bullish opportunity. We can see that price broke structure very impulsively to the upside with this bullish leg. After the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest. 4 hour is bullish on the trader graph, and now the final thing that I am waiting for is a corrective pullback towards my area of interest. Next up, we have Euro JPY with a bullish opportunity. Okay, right here we can see that once again we have a very impulsive breakout structure to the upside with this impulsive bullish leg. Daily and 4 hour are both bullish on the graph. We also have a nice unmitigated order block lining up with the discounted area of this bullish range. And now once again, the last thing that I am always waiting for is a corrective pullback. I cannot stress it enough. It is very important for us to get a corrective pullback. Okay, right here we have GBP AUD with a bullish opportunity. We can see we have a break above these two highs with this bullish leg. Okay, imbalance was then left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated demand level lining up with the point of interest of this bullish range, as well as with this bullish trader order block. Daily and 4 hour are both bullish on the graph, and so far we can see that the pullback has been pretty corrective, which is exactly what we want. Okay, I want to see a continuation of that. Odd CHF with another bullish opportunity. Okay, once again on this one, very clear to see that the pullback has been very corrective because the bullish pressure is still on. Okay, very clear to see that. Right here we had a liquidity sweep followed by a very impulsive break towards the upside. Okay, that took price higher and left imbalance behind. Okay, because I was able to identify this fair value gap right here, lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Right beneath it, we have a unmitigated bullish trader order block as well, which is a great added confluence. Daily is bullish on the graph, and yeah, these are the reasons that this setup will be a valid one. Okay, GBP JPY with another bullish opportunity. Okay, we can see that GJ broke structure very impulsively to the upside, continuing this overall upwards trend. Okay, after the break, very clear to see imbalance was left behind. I was able to identify this fair value gap lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Daily and 4 hour are both bullish on the trader graph, and now the last thing that I am waiting for is to see if we get a corrective pullback. okay, towards the fire zone. Next up, we have odd NZD with another bullish opportunity. Okay, we have a continuation of this overall upwards push with a impulsive break of structure right here. Before the break of structure, price swept liquidity as well, which is a great added confluence. And after the break, we can see that imbalance was left behind, okay, because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the point of interest. The 4-hour is bullish on the trader graph, and now the last thing that I am waiting for is a corrective pullback. Okay, that's that for odd NZD. CAD JPY coming up next with another bullish opportunity. Okay, we can see we have a very textbook an aggressive break of structure to the upside with this bullish leg. After the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this fair value gap right here, lining up perfectly with the point of interest. 4-hour is bullish on the trader graph. We also have these two bullish trader order blocks lining up with the discounted area of this bullish range. And now the last thing that I need to wait for is a corrective pullback, okay, as per usual. Next up, we have USD CHF with another bullish opportunity. We have a lot of bullish opportunities today, okay. Right here, we can see that we broke structure very impulsively to the upside with this bullish leg. After the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block that is lining up perfectly with the point of interest. Daily and 4-hour are both bullish on the trader graph, and we can see that the pullback is very corrective so far because the bullish pressure is still on. Euro AUD with another bullish opportunity. Right here we can see that we have a very impulsive break towards the upside, okay, with this bullish push. After the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the point of interest. 4-hour is bullish on the graph, and once again, pullback so far looks pretty corrective to me. So I definitely want to see a continuation of that. OJPY coming up next with another bullish opportunity. Okay, like I said, plenty of bullish opportunities today. So on OJPY, we can see that we had a very impulsive break of structure to the upside with this bullish leg that broke multiple highs, okay, which is a great added confluence. Daily and 4-hour are both bullish on the trader graph. We can also see that imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up with the discounted area of this bullish range. And now the last thing that I need to wait for is a corrective pullback towards my fire zone, okay. And lastly, for our Forex analysis, we have USD CAD with another bullish opportunity. Okay, we can see very nice and aggressive break towards the upside. After that, imbalance was left behind. I was able to identify this very good looking unmitigated order block line that is lining up with the point of interest. Daily and 4-hour are both bullish, and we can see that the pullback is being pretty corrective right now, which is exactly what we want. And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's Forex analysis right here. And as always, if there's any further questions, you should reach out on Discord. Now I will go over today's metals analysis, starting off with gold, where we won't waste too much time because unfortunately I couldn't identify a new setup. We can see that the price action is pretty slow right now. So as always, when I don't see a clear setup, I'm just going to wait for some fresh structure, and from there we could potentially identify something, okay. But on silver, I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Okay, so right here we have a nice and aggressive break of structure to the downside with this bearish leg. Okay, we can see that after the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with the point of interest of this bearish range. And the pullback so far is being pretty corrective as well, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so we definitely want to see a continuation of that corrective pullback. And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's metals analysis right here. As always, if there's any other questions, you should reach out on Discord. And now I will go over today's indices analysis, starting off with US 30, where we have a bearish opportunity running as we speak. Currently at around break-even price and in a small drawdown for the entry number 1. Entry number 2 had a nice initial sniper reaction. It smashed TP1, but now, like I said, it is playing around the break-even. So yeah, we shall see how this setup will play out. The reason I took it is very simple. I saw a bearish shift in momentum. That was it. I saw a liquidity sweep here, followed by a very impulsive break towards the downside with this bearish leg. Okay, after the break, I was then able to identify this fair value gap, lining up perfectly with the point of interest of this bearish range. And I also saw that the pullback has been pretty nice and corrective, okay, which is exactly what we are always looking for, okay. Yeah, right now we just need to wait and see how this one will play out. Next up we have SPX, where I will do a trade breakdown, because this was a very beautiful setup that played out perfectly, okay. So why not do a trade breakdown on it? I think it was right around here when I sent this setup, okay, in the Discord. And the reason I sent it is very simple. I saw a bullish shift in momentum, okay, continuing this overall upwards trend. So right here, I saw a fake out to the downside with this bearish push, okay. And after that, I saw price showing its true intentions by continuing this overall uptrend and breaking structure right here with this impulsive bullish push, okay. After that, I then said to myself, okay, do I have imbalance lining up with the discounted area? And the answer was yes. I was able to identify this fair value gap here lining up with the discounted area of this bullish range. I also saw that the daily and the 4-hour were both bullish on the trader graph, and then I just decided to take the setup, okay, and the rest was history. Check this out, boom. It tapped us in right there. Very beautiful initial sniper reaction, and then it went straight into profits, smashing all of the targets. Okay, it was a very beautiful setup, and it played out perfectly. Okay, literally next to no drawdown. Okay, so yeah, that's why we took this SPX setup. Hope it makes sense. And lastly, for our indices analysis, we have NES 100, where this bearish opportunity smashed TP1 and TP2 on both entries, but currently decided to reverse towards the entry. So yeah, let's see what will happen from here. Still running in some profits. And to quickly tell you why I took this one, it is very simple. I saw a impulsive break towards the downside. After that, I saw that imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this fair value gap that was lining up with the area of interest. I also saw that the 4-hour was bearish on the trader graph, and the pullback hasn't been too aggressive. Okay, that's why I decided to take this setup, and we can see that we had a very beautiful initial sniper reaction to both of our entries, okay, because they both tapped, and after that price went straight into profit, okay. But yeah, nonetheless, let's just wait. This is currently a waiting game. We shall wait and see what will happen with this setup, okay. And yeah, on that note, we'll end today's indices analysis right here. And as always, if there's any other questions, you should reach out on Discord. And lastly, I will go over today's crypto analysis, starting off with Bitcoin, where I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Okay, so right here, we have a impulsive break of structure to the downside with this bearish leg. After the break, very clearly see that imbalance was left behind. I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with this bullish, with this bearish trader order block, and they are both lining up perfectly with the discounted area of this bearish range, okay, with the point of interest. 4-hour is bearish on the trader graph as well. And now the last thing that I am waiting for is a corrective pullback towards the area of interest. Okay. Next up, we have Ethereum. On Ethereum, I wasn't able to identify anything. Okay. Price action is looking pretty bearish right now, but unfortunately, I cannot see a valid range that we could trade. Hence why we'll just keep it simple. And as always, I'm just going to wait for some fresh structure. Okay. On Dogecoin, I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Right here, we can see that we have a impulsive break of structure to the downside with this bearish push. Okay. After the break, imbalance was left behind because I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up with our point of interest, as well as with this bearish trader order block. 4 hour is bearish on the graph, and now the last thing that I am waiting for is a corrective pullback. On XRP, same story as on Ethereum. Although price is looking pretty bearish right now, I wasn't able to identify a clear setup. Hence why, once again, I'll just leave the chart as is, and I'm just going to wait for some first structure. And lastly, on Solana, I was able to identify a bearish opportunity. Okay, right here we have a bearish shift in momentum, pretty textbook in my opinion. Okay, we have a fake out to the upside with this bullish push, and immediately after that we broke structure to the downside with this bearish leg. Okay, confirming this bearish shift in momentum. After that, I was able to identify this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly, as we can see, with the point of interest of our bearish range. And now the last thing that I am waiting for is a corrective pullback towards my area of interest. Okay, and yeah, on that note, we'll end today's crypto as well as the overall daily analysis right here. As always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the dork side. Take care.